Hi everyone, and we're back. And Richard, we were talking about the new formula businesses and the discussion that'll be going on tomorrow.
Well, I have a couple of issues with this that we need to talk about. One, the definition of formula business, but is it the formula business or is it just any business that really doesn't look very good? Because if you drive up country, if you drive down country, you can find businesses that are an eyesore. So are you attacking all those businesses? What they're trying to say here is that design standards need to be put in place. So do we want to restrict formula or small box, as we were talking, big box, small box, retail franchise and type investment businesses, or do we want design standards? It seems like we want design standards more than we want to restrict the ability of people to have a business. If you don't like Dollar General, don't shop there. Now, that to me is the lesser problem than what it looks like. I've got a lot of common sense people that said, look, it just doesn't fit there with the way it looks. But they're not only complaining about the way it looks, they're complaining about the amount of blacktop that's created when you build a store like that, because you need so many parking places. That blacktop creates global warming. I mean, that right. Says it in the documents here. But
okay.
Anyway, it's stores that are owned by distant corporations with a formulaic appearance, logos, interior layout, merchandise selection. You can go to a lot of stores in Amador County and they pretty much look the same. My thing is, if you want to shop there, shop there. If you don't, then don't shop there. But the front of the building.
Do these formula businesses have local owners, like franchises have local owners for franchises?
One like Dollar General.
Talking about things like that?
Yeah, Dollar General will not have a local owner. That's what they're talking about here with distant corporations. It's owned by Dollar General throughout the nation, is owned by a company in Tennessee, just like Walmart is owned by, where are they from, Arkansas or someplace like that. But they're looking at, by putting these formula stores up, they degrade the appearance of towns and commercial areas because of their standardized design, large parking lots, and limited landscaping inconsistent with the unique character and fabric of our communities. So that'll be the discussion tomorrow. Is it important for Amador County's commercial buildings to be visually compatible with traditional local architecture? I think it is. So that, to me, is the key. Now, that's the first item on the agenda on this topic. The second item on the agenda is creating that resolution of intention. The problem I have with the resolution of intention is the resolution is to initiate proceedings to amend our codes as it relates to the regulation of formula businesses. But within the that makes it county-wide, but within the resolution, it talks about specifically District 3 and 2 of the whereases. So I don't know if this applies to just District 3. It sounds to me like it applies to the whole county. Do I want to limit formula stores in District 2? We'll have the discussion on it. I think the bigger issue for me is what it looks like on the fascia, on the outside. We'll have that discussion tomorrow.
It seems to take to me the concept of businesses competing with each other on we used to be very American, and I don't see or hear that in there, but I'm sure it'll be brought up.
Well, it's because of the proliferation of stores like Dollar General throughout the nation.
But it's like the proliferation of Ford automobiles.
The thing is, though, Dollar General's basic format business plan is they've gone into District 3. They'll probably move throughout the county. They're not afraid to have multiple stores throughout the county. So I would expect each supervisor needs to look at their area and decide, is it appropriate to have a store like that?
It's not their business plan to go into Martell and be in the centrally located into,
right.
But to rather to serve different communities with their smaller size.
Right, but I think it's up to us to decide with the public's input, is it appropriate to have a store like that where we have no input on the design standards?
Okay, all right.
So I think, to me, that's the overbearing or overarching issue.
Okay, and then I would tend to agree. I don't think they look very well, but at the same time, as you point out, there's a lot of buildings that don't look that well here in Amador County.
That's right. Next up, we have a discussion on state and local transportation infrastructure. This is a big item because it's with a special session that was called by the governor of the legislature. They are making headway on this. I was just on a conference call this morning with the State Association of Counties, and they are very active right now with giving our input, what counties would like to see. What our board and every board needs to realize that when we're talking about a fix to this problem, a fix to it means money, because we have about a $7 billion problem right now, and there's no easy way to fix something like that without money. Do we want to vote ourselves to be a self-help county in the future? That's one of the solutions here that incentivize those counties that are self-help counties. Well, if we're not one, then we don't get a chance to get any of those other funds that might come along. They're talking about cap and trade revenue, should some of the money come out of there. The governor is has borrowed $500 million of that to go into the high-speed rail. They're talking about possibility of increased gas taxes, increased licenses. What most of them are looking at is, look, don't just do it in one area, spread the burden across all of the areas. They want to make it so that everyone pays. Everyone who drives pays. Right now, those people that have fuel-efficient vehicles, the electric vehicles, they're not paying any road tax. To me, that's wrong because they're still using our roads, even though they have an energy-efficient vehicle.
It's an incentive to get them in there, much like solar panels on roofs are being paid for by the people who are still using the electric companies are subsidizing that.
That's right.
Are we going to come down road and make the solar panel people pay?
Mm-hmm. There are some of these things.
How things change in politics.
Some of these things will probably never happen. They want CEQA relief for highway projects. Right now, the environmental costs are huge. When you're talking about an environmental project, sure. Usually 40% of the costs are due to environmental work. Yeah. So whether we're going to get relief from that, we'll see. The vehicle weight fees, they want an adequate redistribution or distribution of those vehicle weight fees. They want to, there is a thought to take the governor has taken the department, the State Transportation Commission, and brought it under the administration. The thought is to make them independent again, away from the administration. Problem is, most of those people that are appointed to the CTC are governor's appointments, and Governor Brown has shown a tendency that if some of the appointees do things he doesn't like, he takes them off boards. Board of Forestry was a perfect example. So there's a plethora of alternatives here. The other big key is that the Republicans have to buy into some of this because they need the Republican vote to pass any of these taxes. And our Board of Supervisors, in looking at this, we do have a draft resolution. What we have to remember is there might be, if we vote for this, there will be some kind of increase in either gas tax, mileage, some kind of mileage tax. In the future, they're talking about a user tax on the
Richard,
roadways.
As a gas tax and things like that, up here in this county and other mountainous terrain counties, we have almost every other car is a vehicle is a truck that uses more gas, is paying for the roads up here much more than in LA, where you'd have to see 100 cars before you would see one truck on the freeway. So this is all very interesting to make it one size fits all.
Well, the problem with a lot of these taxes, the triple flip involving property taxes and your highway taxes you pay on your vehicle, your license fees, they did that triple flip and it just made a mess. And what they're doing is they're borrowing from one pot and putting it into the other pot, and eventually you got to pay those pots off. So that's not the way to do it. We need to generate significant revenue. The problem is that you have to have the votes to do it. And I think there are some Republicans who will probably agree to this. I'm not sure right now if our assemblymen and senator will, but you also have to look at it that we're all complaining about not having enough money to even fix our potholes on the roads. So I think there's going to be a solution this year, and it's like having medicine. You got to take the medicine sometimes.
Okay, we have looks like about a minute and a half.
I just have two quick ones to cover. The Resilient Federal Forest Act of 2015. The board will probably pass a motion to support this and send a letter off under the chairman's signature to try and get this through the federal government. There are some things in there right now that some of the legislators don't like, and we have to try and work through that. The other is Senate Bill 762, and this is put together by Senator Wolk out of Yolo County. Used to be a very good senator. I don't know what happened to her along the way, but legislator. But she's basically got this bill that stifles counties' competitive bidding and best value pilot projects because the way she has this, only those people that go through specified apprenticeship programs can work on programs in your county. So people that have been through the military, through federal apprenticeship programs, they would not be eligible to work under these union-based companies. So this is all run by the unions, and the unions are trying to control that their people work on our projects so that the contractors also have to pay additional money back into the union. It's just total hogwash, and we're being asked to oppose it, and I think we will.
Okay, Richard. Thanks for watching, everyone, and we'll see you again next time right here on TSPN.